Alright, today we're getting ready for our test, so let's quickly go through some of these. This should be, I hope, stuff that we know. So the first thing we're doing is trying to find the slope. Here we don't have a graph, we have ordered pairs, so it's the change in y's over the change in x's. Remember, it doesn't matter which y you start with, just whichever y you start with the same x. So let's say I start with -8, so -8 minus 1, remember there will always be a minus in between, 2 minus 4. Remember this becomes plus negative, so it would be -9. Plus negative, -2, never leave two negatives, 9 over 2. If this can simplify, you do simplify it. Like 8 over 2, you'd simplify it into 4. Not actually sure if we started one like this before, but we want to write in standard form. Well, we first have to put it in slope-intercept form, so we know our slope, -2/5. We also know the y-intercept, -3. And now we want to get this in standard form. Well, we don't want fractions, so I'm going to multiply everything by 5 to get myself started here. And that would give me 5y equals, here the 5's cancel, -2x minus 15. Now remember, standard form, we want the x, standard form is the ax plus by equals c, so we need to get the x and y over on the other side, or the x on the other side, so I'm going to add 2x to each side, giving me 2x plus 5y equal -15. Remember this restrictions, no fractions, which we've already taken care of, and the thing in front of the x is positive, so we don't have to worry about that. Remember, if that were a -2, we would have to divide everything by -1 to make it positive. Find the x and y intercepts. Well, to find the x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis, we know that y is 0. So I'm going to put a 0 in here. Well, that would be gone, and I'd have this equation, 1/3 x equal -7. So I'd multiply both sides by 3. Now we get my answer, x equal -21. So that's the x-intercept. Find the y-intercept, I know that x must be 0. So that would be gone, and I would have 1/5 y equal -7. So I'd multiply both sides by 5 and get y equal -35. So that would be the y-intercept. Write in slope-intercept form. Well, I have the two things I need. I just put them in their place. That goes in for m. That goes in for the y-intercept, and I would be done on that one. So some of the problems will be, well, that easy. Alright, this time I want to find a line parallel to this. Well, I know parallel lines have the same slope. Remember that. So what do I need to do? I need to get this in the form so I can find the slope. So I'm going to subtract 12x from each side. 12x there. I get -3y equal -12x plus 10. Divide everything by -3. And again, the important thing I want is this part right here. So what is -12 divided by -3 positive 4x? I don't really care what this other stuff is. So I know my new slope is going to be 4. I'm going to use that with this ordered pair to find my b. So y is 3 equals m is 4, -5 plus b. So 3 equals -20 plus b. So I would need to add 20 to each side. Running out of room here, so we get 23 equal b. So here's my b and here's my m. I'm ready to write my equation. Y equals 4x plus 23. Alright, perpendicular, well, we know their slopes are opposite reciprocal. So opposite reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2, and the opposite would be negative. So I need to use -1/2 with this ordered pair to find my b. So my y is -5, my m is -1/2, my x is 2 plus b. So half of 2 is 1, but we have my negative sign there, so -5 equal -1 plus b. So I need to add 1 to each side and get -4 equal b. So my equation would be y equals -1/2 x minus 4. So please keep track of your negative signs. And the next one, find the slope and y-intercept. Well, it's in the correct form, so all I got to do is pick out my answers and make sure you show me each one. You can use your letters if you want, so I know slope is m, that's -3. Now the y-intercept, or the b, is equal to 4. Same directions for this one. Well, it's not as easy because it's not in the right form. So to get it in that form, I would have to subtract 6x from each side and get -2y equals -6x plus 24. Divide by -2, and this time I do have to finish it because I'm looking for both answers. -6 divided by -2 would be positive 3x. 24 divided by negative 2 would be minus 12. So now I need to pick out my answers. My slope is 3, and my y-intercept, or my b, is negative 12. Okay, these two I need to graph, and I do have my graph paper on the next page, but before I get to that, let's go ahead and solve this one first, since this one's alright, but this one I need to get in the form y equals, so I'll be able to graph it. So I'm going to, whoops, forgot to choose my writing tool. So I'm going to subtract 5x from each side first. So I get 2y equals negative 5x plus 10. I think you have a different problem. I think you have a 20 here because I changed it at the last minute so it would fit on our graph. Divide everything by 2 and I get y equals negative 5 halves x plus 5. So that's what I'm going to graph when I go to the next page. So the first one, my y-intercept is 3 and my slope is negative 1/3. So you always start with the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. My slope we said was negative 1/3. So I go down 1 and right 3. Down 1 and right 3. Remember, you can also think 1 over negative 3. So I would go up 1 and left 3. So my line goes through. It's not very good there. That one. So that would be my first one. That's number 9. Now remember the other one was y equals negative 5 halves x plus 5. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go down 5 and over 2. Down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. So that would be number 10.